Hello, everyone. This is Elizabeth Hanson with Keto Confab, and it's Wednesday night, time for our chat. And we meet every Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Central, and anyone is welcome. And we discuss the keto lifestyle and what we're looking for in our lives, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so this week, I just finished watching Dr. Boz's series that she just had about restarting keto because it's the beginning of the new year. A lot of people flub up during the holidays um, and everything. And so she went through a 3-week series of restarting keto. And so I thought we would talk about what we do when we are restarting or when we realize we have had a stall. Um, and I pulled out the Keto Continuum from the workbook. Of course, you can't see it well. I tried to find it online because I know I have it, but I think it's on that computer and not this one. and so and we can talk about fasting if you want to talk about fasting and everything too. But for me, to be honest, I am a food addict. I use food as comfort, and I have my entire life. The best memories I have with my parents from my upbringing were related with food. Birthday parties were fun and they had ice cream and cake. And Christmas was great because there was all sorts of sweets going on throughout the whole Christmas holiday. And on the days my mother was happy or less abusive, if you want to call it that, she would break out the cupcakes or the cookies or the chocolate bars. And so I learned that food can make us happy and that food can even make grumpy people less nasty to deal with. And I have carried that on in my adult life.
Mm.
I'm attempting to break that addiction and to regain my health by breaking the addiction. But it's a struggle. And this week, I have struggled with yogurt. And we don't live in a big town, so we can't find um, the we can't find the keto type of yogurt. I did find it in the big city and bought some of them, but that's when I realized they have stevia and I don't get along. We broke up many years ago, um, and so we do not have a good relationship. So this week, um, my youngest daughter likes yogurt, and we keep a supply of yogurt in a little fridge downstairs. And my husband bought a bunch of them. And I thought, oh, look, she has extra. She normally only eats one a day, sometimes two a day. I'm just going to eat one because they're not that bad. And I don't react to the milk products in them that bad. And I watched my sugars, and my sugars didn't like boomerang up or anything with them. So I got it in my head, oh, this isn't bad. You know,
Mhm.
my ketones have been totally flat, below 1 all week long. And I've had a little bit of runny nose, which I used to always get with every bite of a milk product, but now
Mm.
it's only with a lot of milk products. Um, and um, I lost no weight. In fact, I think I gained 2 pounds over the last week. And I'm puffy. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm puffy. Um, so yogurt isn't for me. But to be honest with you, I feel pretty tearful thinking about not eating yogurt. I mean, it's silly, isn't it? It's yogurt. Um, but it was a treat. It might as well have been a chocolate bar. for me. But yeah, so, you know, I didn't totally fall off the wagon. It wasn't like I went and had a bunch of toast or something, but I didn't stick to keto, and I damaged my keto, and I'm sure I damaged my insulin system in the body. And I need to get back on the continuum, doing what I need to do, and stop with this falderall fiddle dee dee with the yogurt. And but this week it was yogurt. 2 weeks ago it was caramel. I found a caramel, small square of caramel with dark chocolate on it that didn't cause my blood sugar to go up crazy. And so I was eating 2 of those a day, two. Now, in my life before keto, I would have eaten 10, you know, but 2 was my limit. So I'm still doing better than before I met keto and Dr. Boz, but it's this constant struggle of trying to stay true to keto and to myself. And did I start the recording? I think I did. Um, anyway, so that was my week. Not a horrible week. The other thing is I'm working on my sleep. How many of you have taken the brains class?
I'm taking it.
You're taking it now. Tammy, did you take the brains class? Okay, and Patricia, you haven't.
I
Wilma,
have.
oh, you did.
I took
Okay.
it.
So Scott and I and Wilma have taken it. Virginia's taking it. Um, Dr. Boz talks about the importance of sleep when you're on keto and otherwise for your brain. And I'm trying to regulate my sleep, but my sleep gets broken up many times because of our disabled daughter who will be up in the middle of the night, and you don't know when that's going to happen. Or she won't settle down to sleep till late. And then because of my work. Over the Christmas, New Year's holiday, I had 2 premature babies born. And so I was up working on those and doing labors. And so my sleep can be disrupted. But I decided to gift myself one of these little fitness watches over Christmas to watch, to get a better, Tammy has fun, to get a better idea of what my sleep is doing. And what I have found is I'm not going into REM sleep. And the books I've read on sleep since taking the brain class and really learning more about sleep say that your REM sleep is so important, especially in the realm of addiction and and uh, dealing with cravings for alcohol and tobacco and food and gambling and sex or whatever, you know. Um, so I need to really work on my sleep because I spend a lot of time in light sleep where I'm not dropping down into the deeper sleep and then into REM. And I think part of this is the time of day I'm going to sleep. And I think that this whole sleep thing has something to do with the amount of cravings I have now, as opposed to last summer when I was really, really deeply in weight loss mode and everything. And so I'm trying to adjust that. So anybody want to tell me anything about their sleep, about their cravings, about where they fall down or where they are on the continuum and how they want to get on further or whatever? It's open to
I will.
everybody else. Okay, Jenny.
I finished a 72-hour fast today at 2,
Mhm.
and I was really hungry, but I had some sausage because nothing upsets my stomach, by the way.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I had some sausage and some olive oil, like the big sausage that you get from a deli that
Mhm,
was grilled,
mhm,
and it was delicious. But an hour later, I was still hungry, so I had uh, a low carb tortilla with some peanut butter, 1 tablespoon,
mhm.
And then I had sugar-free chocolate. So
Mhm.
I may not sleep again tonight. Last night I didn't sleep because my ketones were high. This morning I had a blood sugar of 47, ketones of 4.7. I said, well, that's why I didn't sleep. According
Ah,
to Dr. Boz, my Fitbit said I slept 4.3 hours, which is not very good. But then I got up twice. So which means I slept 2 hours.
yeah.
And that's probably why I was so hungry this afternoon, because I didn't
Hmm.
sleep.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so now I'm just tired, but I hope that doesn't keep me up in the bathroom all night because of the sugar-free chocolate, because that's got the sugar alcohol. So I only
Hmm.
had the 3 little pieces that said that's 1 serving. So instead of eating the whole chocolate bar that has like 4 servings, I've done that before, which I really regretted.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not hungry anymore, but I won't eat tomorrow until 5:30.
Okay.
So
Last
today
week
my
I
23 and 1 turned into 20 and 3 because I kept saying, well, I want something else. I need something else. And I try to stay busy. I did work out. I went to the gym today and worked out not too hard because I had fasted for 72 hours. I didn't have a whole lot of energy. I went Monday after starting my fast on Sunday, and I worked out with a trainer on Monday, and she was a new trainer. And I said, I want to build some strength. So work me hard. I want to be sore tomorrow. She went, oh, goody, I can make you sore. And I
ah,
was a little bit sore yesterday. I'm actually a little bit sorer today than I was yesterday, but I can get out of bed and I can move and I can move my arms and I can do a squat without dying. But I feel the muscles like in my arms, in the back of my arms, and I say, yay, that's where I wanted it to work. So I won't do those exercises. The ones that she does, the really strong strength exercises, you really only do twice a week
hmm.
because you need to have your muscles give them time to repair.
Hmm.
If you do them every day, it's just not good for you. You can do
Hmm.
cardio on those days if you want to, but I usually only go twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. But the strength exercises I really only do twice a week.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to get strong, and I mean I'm stronger. She says my 20-year-old clients can't do what you've done, and I'm almost 75. And I said, well, yay.
Yeah,
So
that's the other
I've got to
thing.
get old, but I don't want to be old and frail.
Yes.
So this is why I'm doing this, is to not be like my sister that I was telling Patricia, not be like other people in my family. Um, I try to be an example to them, but I don't want to be wheelchair bound. I don't want to be on oxygen. I don't want to be on any more meds than I have to be on. I'm on a med to suppress my hormones from breast cancer, but that's it doesn't give me any side effects. Some people I talked to people that it gave them terrible side effects. And I said, no, I didn't notice a thing, but I'll keep on taking it. And I'm on Crestor, just a little tiny bit. I take 5 milligrams, and the lowest dosage comes is 20 milligrams. And the doctor says, I said, well, I will cut it in 4s. And I'm a nurse. She says, well, you have to cut it because your cholesterol is low. So I thought, well, I'm having labs next Monday, and I don't see her until the following Monday to review all the labs. So I think I'm going to tell her I'm going to stop that. Or maybe I'll just stop that till my next 3-month checkup and see what happens if she argues with me about stopping it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my story.
Yep. Yeah, you bring up a good point, Jenny, about exercise. That's our other struggle here is, we're below zero most of the time. So just going outside for a walk isn't the best.
Mhm.
And I many times will go over to my office and walk the halls at my office, but Christmas Eve, I fell outside my office on the
Oh
ice, and
no.
they haven't gotten the ice away, and now I have this fear complex about falling on the ice everywhere I go. And so anyway,
Well,
so
that would be
yes.
scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just walk in place, like watching TV, swinging my arms and pumping my legs, and I just go to town. for about 20 minutes.
I should probably do that.
It
And
looks really silly, but I stomp my feet and I swing my arms.
yeah.
So it's weight bearing because I'm really kind of stomping,
Mhm.
and it looks ridiculous. Nobody watches me, thank goodness. And but
Well,
Dr. Boz recommends band workout, those stretchy bands,
yeah, and we have those here at home. Mhm.
and there are YouTube videos on with band exercises that are
Mhm.
really very good. If you do tie a knot and do a band in the doorway,
Mhm.
make sure you put a sign on the door. Don't open the door because somebody's going to get smacked, whether
Yeah,
either with the door or with the bands.
yeah. Um, yeah. Do you live alone, Jenny?
Yes, I do.
Well, see, that's good for you because I have this husband here and he makes all sorts of funny, sarcastic remarks when I do all sorts of exercises and he laughs at me.
Well,
And
laughing, you can laugh right back because laughing is really good exercise.
Yes, it
and
is. Yep.
and then I have this 20-year-old daughter who thinks it's funny when mom tries to exercise. Ooh,
Well, you
big
need to
old
set an
fat
example for
mom.
her. So
Well,
laugh right
well,
back.
yeah.
Just
Um,
laugh with them. Then you'll laugh so hard your stomach will hurt the next day. You don't even have to do crunches.
but I get this self-conscious feeling. Why do these people have to watch me while I'm exercising? And there isn't room in our house to do anything anywhere else but in the living room, you know? And so no picking on me, Scott.
And no picking on her, Scott.
Yeah. So
Can I talk?
sure, go, Patricia.
Well, number one, before I go, I was on this other group and someone recommended, I don't know if it would maybe here, a girl on YouTube. This thing is called Body Groove.
Oh yeah, it was Renee from here. Mhm.
And I looked, that is so much fun. She is so much fun. She's
Is it
really,
like dancing?
yeah, it's dancing.
Okay.
And it's really cute. I wanted to talk a little bit about the sleeping. I'm a former database administrator, so we had a lot of computer problems in the middle of the night and things like that. And every third weekend I was on call, and so I would, I'd get some calls and I'd have to work through them. So I arranged it so that I went to work at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I got off at 3.
Wonderful.
And the reason I did that is because my eyes popped open at 5 o'clock every morning, and I said, "Hey, why don't I just go to work?"
I would have loved that shift.
Yeah, and so I talked them into, understanding that computer problems happen at 5 and 6 in the morning, and it's good to have a DBA on call, on the site when things happen. So anyway, I'm just saying I had a little bit of a stressy job. Okay.
Mhm.
And I just made up my mind as far as losing sleep. I just said, well, didn't get as much last night, but I got to go on. And I just let it fly. I just decided in my own mind I wasn't going to get upset about the fact that I lost sleep. And usually, within the next 48 hours, I would have caught up and there wasn't a problem. So I think a lot of sleep is an attitude thing. And number two, I wanted to say, my husband has sleep apnea. So he has his machine. And so before he had his machine, he was much louder, but the machine makes noise too. So I have, for many years, had the habit of listening to books on tape as I go to sleep. So, don't have to hear any noises.
Mhm.
So sometimes the book is very exciting, when I find out who the killer is, like at 3 in the morning. So I have never had really great sleep, okay? But I just don't let it bother me. And now, of course, in retirement, I'll just take an afternoon nap if I have to. So it's not a problem, but I know not everybody can do that. But what I'm trying to say is, I think a lot of it is attitude. You just have to relax and say, okay, I didn't get the 8 hours sleep. And another thing I want to say is my husband, his machine keeps track of how many REM hours and all his sleep. So he gets up at like 2 a.m. every morning. He reads for an hour and then goes back to bed. But at 9 o'clock, he gets his report, and his report, he usually has 100%, which means that he's had over 7 hours of sleep. So the machine keeps track of how many hours of REM and all that you get. But like I say, I don't really worry about sleep. I know I didn't take the brains course, and you guys probably know a lot more about the damage, but I don't feel like I am damaged right now. I'm doing fine. One other thing I wanted to say, and by the way, I didn't have a great week. I didn't lose anything, but I haven't really binged either. I haven't really been very, very careful. I don't count my carbs, but I'm pretty sure I didn't go over 20, but I should have counted them properly. I'm not using the chronometer like I should. One other thing I wanted to say is that I noticed last week with the Dr. Boss, not this week, but last week, she was talking about Halloween candy and her kids. And she mentioned that the day after Halloween, she always, cleaned out the house. The kids knew that there would be no candy the next day. And
I heard that too, and I'm like, are you kidding?
That is so good. I wish I had done that with my kids. I wish my mother had done that with me, because no kidding, we used to eat Halloween candy for weeks and weeks and weeks after Halloween. So I think that's a really good thing. It's just, have fun that night and then make sure it's out of the house the next day. I thought that was really good.
I think after the first week after Halloween, all the good candy is gone, and after that, you're eating all that stuff you don't really like.
Don't like anyhow.
Well,
Yeah,
I know,
but
but when you were a kid, you do.
yeah.
You eat all the chocolate or all your favorite stuff in the first week or that night, or whatever the case may be. And then after that, you're eating the Tootsie Rolls, you're eating the stuff that maybe you don't like, the Jolly Ranchers or something, you're still eating it, but it's not your favorites after about a week.
Yeah, and you're probably eating that stupid candy corn, which
I love that
junk
stuff.
food. Ugh.
I never like candy corn.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Anyway,
okay, that's my report.
So, Patricia, you don't know, everybody else doesn't know either, but Scott and I are both on CPAP. I have severe obstructive sleep apnea. He has just regular level sleep apnea. And so we have dueling machines, and our machines are rather quiet. They don't seem to disrupt, and our machines don't give us as detailed a report as your husband's machine. It just tells us how many hours and if we had any apneic episodes. And on a good night, I will have less than 0.5 of an episode an hour. On bad nights, I'll have 3 or 4 episodes an hour. But without the machine, I was having 120 apneic episodes an hour. And so I have to have the machine. Even though I've lost 100 pounds on keto and feel better and everything, I still have to have the machine. And then Dr. Hanson there, he still makes all sorts of noises at night, even though he's got his machine on. Some nights he sounds like a lawnmower. Other times he sounds like a really bad exhaust system on a car. And there are some nights he sounds like a grumbling bear.
Oh my.
But the nice thing about the CPAP therapy and him getting enough magnesium, because we're on keto, he's getting enough magnesium, is the body jerking doesn't happen, because it wasn't just his legs jumping around. He jumps his whole body, and man, that would wake me up. I'd be like, oh, what was that? And so, and the other thing is yes, I understand I shouldn't stress and be upset about sleep. But number one, I'm not retired and I can't take a nap in the afternoon. And number two, um, Dr. Boz in the brains class told us that disruption of your sleep really is very destructive to the brain. And my job is very focus oriented and thought oriented and very detailed. I mean, last night I was knee deep in the parasympathetic nervous system and all the innervating nerves and the pre and post ganglion connections of someone's spinal column to their endocrine system in my work. And I have to have clear thinking. And the whole reason I'm trying to look into my sleep quality is because I'm not having that clear thinking. Even though I'm not doing all the carbs that I used to do. I mean, heaven's sakes, I have been known to eat 3 or 4 donuts in one sitting, and followed up later with a couple of ice cream sandwiches, but not in the last year and a half. Okay. Not in the last year and a half. But, so I need clarity for my work, and sleep is very important. And yes, you can make it up in a nap in the afternoon, but naps in the afternoon typically set me up for being up late at night. And, you can make some things up, but you need the longer periods of time to get that REM sleep. And and they've documented that addictions are less troublesome, cravings and things like that, when you are getting your sleep. And that's where my struggle is right now, the cravings from my food addiction and everything.
I do notice when I don't sleep well, I have weird cravings all day long. I can fend them off now that I know what to do, but I still have them if I don't sleep well. And you were talking, you have a tracker. Was it a Fitbit or is it the Aura
Yeah,
Ring?
it's a Fitbit. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said no REM sleep. What about the deep sleep?
Well, there are certain nights where I will be at 20% with the light sleep. This is a good night, 20% with the light sleep, and the rest of my sleep is deep, which is good. That's
Deep is
good
the
for me.
best. Absolutely. The REM sleep, if you just have a lot of REM sleep, if I have a lot of REM sleep, I am tired all day long. It's like I've been running a marathon.
Well, you're only supposed to have about 5 to 8%
Yeah.
of your sleep be REM sleep, but I'm not even getting that. And so I need that. And so, but I think it's because of the time I go to bed.
Yeah.
Because Matthew, I forget what his last name is. He's written a book on sleep. He's done a lot of sleep research. He says that REM sleep happens best like at midnight to 3 a.m.
That's when the deep sleep happens in the beginning of the night too.
The deepest part of the sleep happens beginning of the night. And so, everything I've read and learned from Dr. Boz's class and know from my work, I'm not getting the best restorative sleep I can. And that impacts my ability to avoid all of the carbs that I need to for my health journey, my weight loss journey, and trying not to get that Alzheimer's like my mom had. And so, yeah. Anybody else? Hello, Chris. Have we seen you before, Chris? I think you might be new. So we're going to put you on the spot.
Hello there. Okay, I'm really new to Zoom too.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I'm 1 week in.
Oh, you're
so
1 week in.
I've just begun
Okay.
Dr. Boss's class. I finished the whole beginning part, was all the introductions.
Okay.
And so I'm going to just kind of watch because, like she
Okay.
says, I'm a newbie, so I need to
Okay.
just take in.
Okay. All right. So what is your why? What did you do to choose to come on to keto?
Well, to be honest with you, I did dirty keto. I
Okay.
never ever tested. So who knows what happened for 3 years. Lost
Okay.
70 pounds.
Great.
And then COVID happened. And I'm a nurse and
Okay. Ooh,
taking
stress
care of
central.
COVID patients. I ended up just leaving. I quit because I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And I gained, I'm a diabetic and my numbers were crazy. And I just totally got off of keto. And then at the beginning of the year, and my why, so the long story short is my why is that I have a brand new grandson. He's my first. And I want to live a vital life to help raise him, to be part of his life. I've noticed that in the past year, I've been foggier. I've been all the things that she talks about. I'm not my full self. I'm usually quite vibrant, and I'm just not there right now. So I'm only 2 weeks in. My numbers are beautiful for the past week for insulin. My numbers are good. I do have a question for y'all. And so I'm peeing ketones moderately. And so I thought that meant that I was getting in ketosis, but I've heard that that's not necessarily the case. Is that true?
Jenny, you want to take that question?
Well, if you're peeing pink, you're in ketosis.
Yeah, I'm peeing
You are
purple.
not fat adapted. That takes a long time. That takes
Sure
10
it
to 12
does.
weeks.
Yeah.
But you are in ketosis.
Yes. And so
And-
when I finish this bottle, I'm going to go ahead and do the blood so that I really know.
Dr.
Yeah.
Boz recommends the ForaCare meter because the Keto Mojo, they both test ketones and sugar, but the ForaCare, you can also buy strips to test your uric acid and your total cholesterol. The total cholesterol, really doesn't show you a lot because it's total.
Sure.
But the uric acid shows you a lot. And that you only test every couple of months. You don't test that daily.
I see.
That's a very slow process, is the uric acid. But you have to buy those strips separately.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm going to probably purchase them very soon, so I have it on hand when it's time.
yeah.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Yeah.
But you're as long as you're peeing pink, you're in ketosis, but not fat adapted, which means you want to stay on the continuum. Don't skip ahead because you'll fall back to the beginning.
Yes.
But
Yes.
take your time.
How did you
And,
know? How did you know that I might want to do that?
After a length of time, the ketones that you're peeing out, that gets really diminished because your body starts to
I see.
using them the right way. Your body becomes very efficient.
Okay.
So
all right.
if you say, well, I'm eating right, but I'm not peeing pink anymore, or it's just barely pale, it's because you're doing the right thing.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
that's why after so many, after a couple of months, you really need to start testing your blood.
And I will, as soon as I run out of my bottle.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
don't let it get moist. The moisture will kill those. Well, they won't work. If the little tan thing if it turns gray, it means it's gotten moisture.
Okay. Well, I've got it tucked away in its box in the dark.
Yeah, no, but if it stays in the bottle, if you get out just a couple at a time, it's not going to. And they last for 90 days or more.
Okay.
It lasts a long time.
Thank you I think I'm going to learn a lot here.
Okay, good. I knew Jenny had that answer. That's why I went to her. Now Patricia's unmuted because she wants to say something too.
I just want to reaffirm that you will learn a lot of this by going through the rest of the course with Dr. Boz.
I'm sure I will. I've watched probably 50 of her videos.
Yeah. But anyway, she explains a lot of this stuff too.
Sure.
So, I want to encourage you to finish watching that. As a matter of fact, I just went through rewatching all of them. And I went through her course like 3 years ago.
Right.
2.5. And there were things that I had forgotten.
Of course. It's a big course.
She really does do a good job of covering a lot of the important points. So I'm glad you're taking the course.
Yeah. That's why I'm in this group.
And we're happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
We all have our own journeys with keto and our own whys. Of course, they all kind of overlap. You know, we all want to lose weight or we want to get our health back or something. But so Melody is listening via phone, I think, and she doesn't talk much, but she sends messages. And so she wanted to know, how do you know you're fat adapted? Well, in listening to Dr. Boz's restarts, her series of 3 videos from Tuesday night lives, she mentions this and about the continuum, and she says that from 1 to 4, the levels of the continuum 1 to 4 should take you about 4 to 6 weeks, and that you really aren't fat adapted until at least 6 weeks, depending on how insulin resistant you are, how high your sugars have been, and other factors.
Yes.
So she says you can't, when you are finally fat adapted, you are at least on level 5 and you're not feeling hungry during the day. It isn't a struggle to get through those 16 hours without food, and your cravings have dropped. And so until you get to that point where you can just eat 20 carbs, and she says, don't worry about the fat and don't worry about your protein. Just worry about the carbs. When you can be not hungry, eating just 20 carbs a day, then you usually are fat adapted. But the best way to know is to then switch over to the blood monitoring and everything. So Melody wants to know if it is normal to toggle between feeling hungry and not feeling hungry. I think that's normal, don't you guys?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not a true hunger. If it's just like your mouth is hungry, but your stomach isn't, then that's just, there's a German word for it, and I can't think of what it is. But it's a long word, and I couldn't pronounce it anyhow. But it's because you're emotional or you're bored. But and if you're truly hungry, you know, if you eat a little fat, that should satisfy you. And depending on the timing, if you've eaten carbs, then you're going to be hungrier for sure. Because when you eat carbs, you just want more. It creates the dopamine effect, and you just want more carbs and more carbs and more carbs. You're never satisfied. Every 2 hours you have to eat.
It's that dopamine addiction cycle.
Yes.
And so Dr. Boz in the Tuesday night live, she brought up this little poster that's in the workbook.
Oh, yes.
Shut the door. You're not hungry. You're bored. You know, shut the door. And I thought, you know what? I think I need to dig mine out and put a few of them around the house. You know, stop thinking about food. You're not hungry. You're bored. Because, well, it used to be when I would work, I would sit and chew on chips or gum or something while I fought and look through all my reference books and did my work. But now I got nothing. And I miss that, as, you know, like people have cigarettes, you know, and they have to chew on carrots to get rid of that hand thing. I need to find something, but whatever. So
Salt.
yeah, and salt.
I've
Yeah,
got my little cup of salt right here.
yeah.
My little dish of salt. I have salt crystals. I have Redmond salt.
Yeah. And so Melanie says, so I would not be fat adapted. No, probably not, Melody. When my tummy growls, I think I'm hungry, but I push through. So what do you guys think about tummy growling and hunger? I mean, is this a true sign of hunger, or is this the stomach also joining in on that hormone driven
Oh.
desire for you to eat.
What level is Melody on, and how much fat is she eating, and how many carbs is she eating?
Well, she's trying to stay below 20. Some days she's a little higher,
Yeah.
but it's a little different for her because she's a vegetarian. And
Oh, I can't do that. I mean, I can't hard. Do you eat, Melody, do you eat fish and eggs and cheese?
she does not eat fish, but she eats eggs and cheese, and she's sick of them.
I bet
And
she is.
and so you know, in this week's live yesterday, Dr. Boss says eat butter, eat a
Yeah, she
stick of
said
butter,
start eating a stick of butter. See, you can't get through it, but try to eat a stick of butter. That'll satisfy you.
put some salt on it, and eat a stick of butter. And now,
No kidding. I heard a woman the other day, she takes a stick of butter to work with her. And
really,
whenever she gets hungry, she takes a bite out of it.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
And she said it has really helped her tremendously. I don't,
Wow.
I've never tried to do that, but that sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
Scott,
I eat half a stick of butter a day. Yeah. The other thing is the 40% heavy whipping cream. That'd be good as well. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. The butter, I really wish I could eat a stick of butter. I'm thinking of getting a jar of ghee. That's that purified butter. Because when I eat a stick of butter or any butter, just any butter to make eggs, I get inflammation in my upper back, and it's just horrible.
Hmm.
It's just what my body does with butter. And it's still there. I tried after months of no butter, I tried to use butter to cook my eggs, and it happened. I can't take that pain. It's just terrible. And so I really wish I could eat a stick of butter, but I'm thinking of getting some ghee
Right.
and try that, see if those proteins, well, actually they say that the purifying of it gets rid of most of the proteins that cause the allergic reactions and stuff. So, because
Yeah, it
I
gets rid of
need,
the lactose.
yeah, well, I'm not lactose intolerant, but boy,
No,
I'm
well, there's
something
something in it.
intolerant. I'm something intolerant because
Yeah.
it sure, my upper back hates it. And the whipping cream, I can take a little bit of whipping cream, but if I get past, you know, like a quarter cup of it, then my nose starts dripping with the allergies and stuff. I mean, I'm better on milk products, but not perfect. Um, but it's a good idea, Melody. You could try eating a stick of butter. Scott says he likes the salt-free butter better than
Yeah,
the
unsalted. Yeah.
yeah, the unsalted butter. Um, Jenny, do you eat butter? I mean, just eat it?
I take a spoonful every once in a while, but I like the salted butter.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'd like the
I don't
salted
bite.
butter.
I don't take the stick and bite it. I take a spoon and eat it that way.
Yeah.
How about bacon fat? Can you eat that?
I can eat
I
the
can't eat
bacon
that by
fat.
itself. I have to put that on something, like cook eggs with it or something.
Yeah, I can eat the bacon fat, but if it's cooled,
No, I have to put bacon. I have to cook some things in bacon fat.
yeah. So I try and save my bacon fat from when I make bacon, and then I use it with other things. But I cannot eat it plain. And I've had Scott buy me lard 2 or 3 different times to try and use to cook with that. I can't, there's a smell to lard, and
Yeah.
I can't. I just, no,
But my go-to
can't.
oil is olive oil and avocado oil.
Yeah.
I
Both
use
of
olive
which,
oil if I'm doing any kind of a little bit of a salad, just with romaine lettuce, and avocado I cook with it, or I use that to add to anything that I'm eating to add extra oil to. I use avocado oil.
yeah, I have
By
trouble
the
with
way,
avocado oil and olive oil. I swell with them.
Oh, really?
So,
Sorry.
yeah.
but Ginny, I wanted to tell you your idea about making your own avocado mayo.
It's
That
so
works really
easy.
good for me. That really
It
works
is
very good.
so easy.
Yeah.
So, um, Wilma or Tammy, you have anything to add here to our chitty chat? No.
I just finished my 72-hour fast tonight. I started out
Okay.
thinking it was going to be 36. I felt fine, so I went to 42. Felt fine.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
we'll just keep going.
Good.
And
Wow.
Virginia heard my numbers at
Yes.
36 or at 63 hours. When I took it at 72 hours, I was a little shocked. My blood, first I had taken a 30-minute walk in 17-degree weather today. So that must stress your system, kind of like a sauna maybe.
Mhm.
My blood sugar was 38 and the ketones just read high,
Wow.
which on Keto Mojo, it says it's over 8.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I've never had stuff. I've had phenomenal numbers this fast. But
That's
I also
amazing.
spent 2 weeks up in my fat like crazy to get ready for this fast. And I think that helped. I take a lot of electrolytes. I take daily minerals. I take extra magnesium and potassium. And I think that, and extra salt. And I think that's what's helping me through these fasts. I wasn't ready to eat at 72 hours.
Mhm. Wow.
But the point with all those numbers, you're still feeling good. My DVR, what I ate in my 72 hours was 10, and I thought that was good, but not as good as yours, Wilma. Wow.
Wow. Wilma
Like I
wins the
say, I'm
prize.
shocked.
Wilma wins the prize. She's the queen
Yes,
of
she does. Woo,
keto.
woo, woo, woo,
Woo,
woo.
woo, woo.
I don't think Dr. Boz really likes that idea of people going way below 20. I don't think she likes that.
Well, she doesn't want
really?
you going past 72-hour fast, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wants you to eat at the end of 72 and going below 20. I don't know. Listen, Melody's come up with another question. She's wondering if she can use cocoa oil instead of butter. What do you guys think of cocoa oil? I've never
don't
heard
know.
of it. I've never tasted it or anything. And Melody says
I've
she,
never heard of cocoa oil.
oh, coconut oil.
Oh, coconut oil, yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Coconut
Yes, you
oil
can
is
use
fine.
coconut oil to cook with and so forth. Yes.
Yeah, and you can just eat it. I had a girlfriend that
Oh, I love to just eat coconut oil.
yeah, I can't have coconut oil. So Melody
You're
says
allergic to nuts, huh?
yes, yes, yes. Jeez. So Melody, I just am wondering, you say you can't eat butter. Is it like me, you have a bad reaction to it, or you just hate the taste, or it makes you nauseous, or what? She'll reply in a minute. So yeah, you can have the coconut oil. I had a girlfriend, she used to keep a big old jar of coconut and oil, and she'd just get a big spoon and she'd go, and then she'd eat it. And I'm like, ew, ew. That was long before I knew anything about keto and fats and things like that. So
The Indian people do something with coconut oil, and it's sort of like gargling with it.
yes.
There's a word, I can't remember the word they use, but they
It's
sort
called
of
oil
gargle with,
pulling, where you put it in
pulling,
your
yeah.
mouth and swish
Yeah.
it around to clean your teeth.
and
Uh-huh.
it supposedly brings the toxins out of your
Yes, but
body.
that you're not supposed to swallow. You're supposed to spit that out. You can
Yeah.
do it with olive oil also, but it helps clean the debris from between your teeth and everything. You just swish it back and forth like you.
But I think it comes out of your whole alimentary canal too. It cleans out the whole
Probably.
gut, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Melody says the problem with butter is she just doesn't want to eat it plain. I get that. The thought of just grabbing a stick of butter and eating it, not attractive to me. But I mean, because I would like a different source of fat, I'd be willing to do it, but it causes such trouble with me. I can't. I just can't. There was some girl on TikTok that likes to take her stick of butter and dip it in tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, and eat it that way. And I'm like, I might be able to eat it that way, but then I'd still have the problem from the butter, So, yeah. So, oh, and Melody says she does the oil pulling thing too. So, okay. I've heard of it. I've never looked into it. Maybe I should, but I mean, I can't do the olive oil or the coconut oil, but if I don't have to swallow it, maybe it wouldn't affect me as much, because I don't go anaphylactic to it. So interesting. Any other questions, Melody or Chris?
Yeah, I just want to comment on butter, for Melody or for anyone else. The thing is, if you want to try to eat, I don't know, a certain amount of butter per day, you could actually just work up to it slowly. I mean, with a lot of these things, yeah, you got to get used to them, and so, and it might take some people longer to get used to it than others, but if you could just start with a little bit of it at a time and then work up, that would be good. But yeah, the other thing is, I mean, with butter, yeah, combine it with other foods, whatever other foods you're eating, that would help. Yeah.
Yeah, just put butter on your broccoli and your cauliflower and your carrots and your onions and your tomatoes or whatever you're making, or when you cook your eggs and such, just cook everything in
Right.
butter.
Right. Yeah. Cooking it in butter would be good.
Does anyone know whether butter or coconut oil, which one is more fatty? Like, what's the relation of fats between coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, and butter? Does anyone know the relation of that?
Let me look.
Because I don't know.
In the meantime, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Well, Wilma, you mentioned that prior to your 72-hour fast, that you worked for 2 weeks to build up your meat? What did you do for 2 weeks to build up, to get ready for your fast?
In December, I kind of had a carb binge with vacation and Christmas and New Year's. And so I wasn't getting my ketones above 1.1, 0.2. So one of the recommendations in one of the group was to up my fat to at least 75. I had it up to about 80% of my calories. And I kept my protein under about 75 grams a day. But one of the groups has a worksheet that he sent out. And when I was doing the numbers from the carbs and the fat and the protein, there was a lot of days my fat was 2.1 to 1 for protein. And
what kind of fat was it?
I use a lot of cream. I use a lot of butter. I put butter on my meat. Bacon, we eat as fatty as meat as we can.
Yeah, great. Sounds wonderful. Sounds like it was very successful for you. So I'm glad for you.
I just looked up olive oil and coconut oil and avocado oil and butter. Butter is 11.5 grams of fat per tablespoon. The other oils are 13.5 grams of fat per tablespoon.
Oh.
And it's the butter is like 100 calories, maybe 105. I forgot that because the other ones are 120 calories, but the calories really don't count.
No, I don't
So
care
the
about
oils have
calories.
a little bit of more fat than butter because the butter has the milk solids in it, I think.
Yeah. So there we go. All right. So now we know coconut oil. If she doesn't like the butter, then coconut oil might be, the way to go. Melody.
And coconut oil you can cook at higher temperatures than butter and olive oil. If you're frying something.
Yeah.
It has a higher smoke point, but I forgot what the temperature is, but it's avocado oil has a high smoke point also.
Okay.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
You were saying you like yogurt. I make my own yogurt here. We do it in an Instapot.
What do you use?
We use a whole carton of the Fairlife whole milk.
Okay,
16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and 2
okay,
tablespoons of like fake yogurt to get it started, and
okay.
put that in the Instant Pot and cook it for 8 hours. And then we drain it, and I have beautiful Greek yogurt. And then
Mm,
you can add your own sweetener that you want to, if you want to.
yeah. I haven't found any sweetener that agrees with me and my blood sugars or my colon. Let's just say
But
it that way.
with that much, if you use the right heavy whipping cream, it was very sweet without any sweetener.
Yeah. Yeah. I will have to negotiate with Dr. Hanson about the purchase of an Instant Pot. Hint, hint. Because there are several other things I'd like to do with an Instant Pot, but um, I'd like to try the yogurt because I would be willing to spend some carbs on some raspberries or some strawberries to put in my said yogurt rather than using a sweetener, because like I said, I've tried a number of sweeteners and stevia, I don't get along with stevia, and many of the sugar alcohols just cause terrible diarrhea with me and stomach cramping. So those aren't happiness. And then monk fruit. I hate the taste of monk fruit. I'd rather take all sorts of Chinese herbs than that. Um, but anyway, yeah, thanks for the tip, Wilma. We will be discussing it, Scott and I.
The one
Yeah.
other thing about yogurt that I know the Europeans do a lot is instead of being sweet, they go savory. You can add garlic and chives to yogurt. It's very
Really?
tasty. Yeah.
Really? Huh. Well, I won't be adding garlic or chives because I don't tolerate them either. But I mean, I could add rosemary and sage or thyme or maybe just bacon bits.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, bacon bits with
How
yogurt.
about
But
like
isn't yogurt kind of high in carbs?
Pardon?
Isn't yogurt pretty high in carbs?
It depends.
Like a cup, isn't it like 8 or 9 carbs for Greek yogurt?
No,
the fig is like 5 carbs, I think.
yeah, that
Pilgrim's has a brand called Carb Master, and they only have 3 and 4 carbs.
yeah.
Depending on the flavor. They have
Baye?
different.
Baye?
Kroger's brand has one called Carb Masters,
Oh, okay.
and they have low carbs.
Yeah, and the ones that I got from Walmart, whatever brand that was, good something.
Too good.
Too good. Too
Too
good.
good.
I think it was 2 net carbs and 4 total carbs. Because they subtract the fiber from the fruit.
How about flavoring, like cake flavorings like lemon or vanilla or butterscotch or something? Could
Yeah, yeah, could we do that with yogurt? What do you
Yeah.
think, Jenny? Just put some of those flavorings.
Oh, your own flavoring? Yeah. But the
Mhm.
ones in the store, they're flavored, they add a lot of sugar to them, obviously.
Yeah, well, I don't want
Oh,
to do
you mean the
that.
little drops of flavoring?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that.
yeah.
I use a lot of skinny syrups in mine.
Oh, skinny syrups. Oh.
Yeah,
Like
but they have
Jordan's.
those sweeteners that you can't take. Kind of thing.
Oh, do they? They have those alcohol sweeteners. Oh, okay.
Or Splenda or something like that. I don't know which one the skinny syrups have and which one they use.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't use
Speaking of the
Splenda.
Instant Pot,
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Speaking of the Instant Pot, if you're going to invest in one, go ahead and get the one with the air fryer top, so it does everything.
Okay.
So I'm getting rid of a lot of my stuff. I got one for Christmas. Haven't used it yet, but
Okay. So Instapot with the air fryer. Okay.
mhm.
Okay. Well, I'll
And
have to
with the
look into that.
yogurt, with the yogurt button on it.
With a
Yes.
yogurt button. Oh, okay. Okay, it has to have a yogurt button. Good to know, because I go and buy one without a yogurt button and then I can't make yogurt. Ah! Um, okay, all right. Let's see. Who said, oh, I think it's Melody. She says she's forgotten why we're talking about eating fat. This was for hunger. Yes, it's to keep you from being hungry and having cravings. I just received my monk fruit order, so we'll be trying that. Okay. Increasing your fat with your meal keeps you satisfied. Thanks, Jenny. Found an alcohol-free vanilla that I just received. Ooh, alcohol-free vanilla. Yay. Um, okay. Any other comments or questions from anybody? No? All right. Well, then we're going to call it a night. It's about 7 minutes after 8, and I'm going to turn off the recording wherever it is. It always gets hidden.